James Wynn ran up his account to $84 million, didn't take profit, then it went back down to 13 million. He took profit. 12 hours later, got the itch to trade, started trading, and now he's blown his whole account. He's now down 5 million. All of this happened in 3 days. One of the on-chain reporters of crypto alerted everybody about his account. His reply: no crying in the casino. Don't you love this industry, dude? Where does this come from? Dude, he bought a frog coin called Pepe, makes 70 million. Somehow ends up running an account up to 84 million degen long trading. Like, this money, friends, you can retire your children's grandchildren and their school friends. He didn't want to leave the casino. I think we're actually stuck here forever. It's just oh man, just this is welcome to crypto. I just think about this story. Think about leverage trading, the lessons out here. This is it, dude. I mean, friends, look at this P&L, man. It's real, verifiable. If you read this story in a magazine, you'd be like, is it fabrication? No. This isn't some coconut intelligence agency disinformation camp to stop you from learning about the UFO knowledge. It ain't this. This is like verifiable on-chain. Meanwhile, you have other fantastical stories. Coinfessions. I got Ethereum at $4,000. Been holding for a long time. And it refused to move. And then everyone says it's dead. Then I sold it at 1,800. The next day, Ethereum is 2,200. And it keeps pumping up even harder. That's very common, friends. Remember, I've told you that the market does consume souls. From time to time, one of you baby dolls in my Telegram, you do remind me of that. Like, Somi, ever since you told me the market consumes souls, some of you said you've had now like this third eye awakening type of experience where you like notice it's actually true. Yeah, like you're just sitting there in the market, nothing's moving, and you will hear a story where someone's like, just couldn't take it anymore, dude. I have to get out now. I can't bear it anymore. It's literally just like there's a scoreboard out there. And then now, okay, we now have permission to pump. It's wild, man. Shout out to my friends, Alien Lakoto. It happens to be the best of us, pDAI final boss Somi. So me made into an alien out here. Sean, markets are a zero-sum game. When someone loses, someone else wins. Could be AI, Sean. Hope you're not. Maybe you are. You got like a lot of digits. That's like the boom, friends. When you see someone with like 15,000 digits, could be an AI, but you just don't know these days. But yeah, very, very true. Now, here's the thing. It's actually not necessarily true. Markets are a zero-sum game. The real, it's a scale, okay? So the shorter your time frame, the more zero-sum game it is because there's more scarcity of the money coming in. So for example, let's say in the markets, there's $1 million of DCA whale money coming in for everybody to share. There's $1 million, okay? Well, if you're opening and closing your trades within the day, everybody has to fight over that 1 million. No matter what you do, you can never get that 1 million to be 5 million. You can't. The only way for you to get that 1 million to be 5 million is if you buy and say you close your trade in a month. Yeah, that's 30 days from now. Now, if you want to even increase your win rate further, for a large cohort of people, you don't close it out in a month. You close it out in a year. Okay? And then obviously take it a step further, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. That's why pretty much the stock market has a 100% win rate if you hold all of its history for, I think, 17 years. Yeah? 17 years is 100% win rate. There's obviously one occasion, which was the Great Depression in 1929 when it started, where the 10-year mark is not 100%. That's why if you hold for 10 years, it's a like 98, 99% win rate. Yeah, it's just that the Great Depression, because it went down for so long, you can't actually say there's a 100% win rate if you hold that for that period of time. So I think that's very fascinating for you to know as well, friends. But even then, if you combine stuff like lollipops and mog glasses and pokeballs and everything else out here, you're still left thinking, hey, is it just technical analysis and like holding stuff enough? Is that really all it takes to win? Yes or no, we don't know, right? Bitcoin's growing, the total crypto industry. Remember, I've been telling you, like, my target hopefully gets to 10 trillion this cycle. It deserves more, but yeah, 10 trillion is a nice number, the highest fib. That'd be beautiful. But it also does help if you're aware of these occurring themes that are appearing. Like we have the StableCoin SuperCycle out here, friends. This is what might make coins like pDAI a first cycle unicorn. If pDAI is also a special coin, if it's an unstable coin that becomes stable, remember, it's on PulseChain, which powers up PulseChain and then like makes all the PulseChain core coins rocket up even more. However, there's more inherent risk with pDAI, okay? So you get to see all these. That's why you start to put all of these together. We are like going further down the risk curve if you venture out into here. You don't have to. All these things can go to zero, okay? Remember, StableCoin SuperCycle. Stablecoins are up 23x in 5 years, right? I started saying StableCoin SuperCycle, by the way. So meme coin SuperCycle and StableCoin SuperCycle. It's kind of funny, right? That's everyone knows them, friends, because they're so easy to know. You know what it means. Let's play some Pumpy G music as well for everyone out there. Now, stablecoins, right, friends, a huge growth. Now, you got to think about this. The government loves stablecoins. Why? Because the stablecoins buy the US treasuries to earn yield. Yeah, because who's selling the US treasuries? The government. That's what they do. You know how meme coin guys are supplying meme coins to the market? You know how founders are supplying tokens to the market? Yes. Well, the US government is supplying their own token. It's called the US Treasury, and they have different bond duration. They give you a little yield on it. They're basically selling their own form of a T-share, like a Hex T-share, right? They're just modifying the yield, depending on market demand. So stablecoins are up 23x in 5 years in size. Now it's 250 billion worth. US government, the Treasury Committee, expects it to be 2 trillion in the next 4 years. That's another 10x. Huge potential. Oh my gosh. Imagine if you can get 5% of that. Big money. Friends, 10% of 200 trillion is 100 billion. Well, it's 5%, 50 billion, dude. By the way, even 1% is big. That's 20 billion. That's enormous. If we grow to that size, imagine just 1% is just people who believe in cypherpunks, who believe in a native decentralized stablecoin. That's why it's important, right? If PulseChain does host this native decentralized stablecoin, if it happens, right? We don't know if it happens. It gives it a unique edge because that's why it's first cycle unicorn. No one else is doing it. You got no one to compete with, right? So it's a first mover advantage. Stablecoin supply exploding is a clear risk-on signal. Institutions and retail are both stacking dry powder for what looks like another leg up. Recent regulatory moves, Think Evil Scum Genius Act, Asia Frameworks, and that $22 billion in new minting recently highlight trust and real-world use case is ramping up hard. And I've written a list of ways to participate in this, okay? So there are different proxies you can buy if you're like, oh, stable coins are growing. How do I get access to them? You can't buy the stable coin, right? Except one, it's unstable. You can't buy them because all you're going to get is a shitty yield and they dump the yield on you. You have to, I guess, buy into their ICO. But the problem is you can't get into their ICOs. Big ones are already done. Maybe you'll be able to, by the way. You never know. A lot of competition, though. You know, even have Trump family trying to release their own, they're doing their own stablecoin, right? USD1, where they just do the same thing. They buy the US bonds and everyone's just copying Tether, okay? Here are potential relevant coins you could participate in. Obviously, my favorite and the best, highest upside, the clearest for me is PulseChain pDAI. There are others, though, if you want. There's EtherFi, there's ENA. You can buy MakerDAO governance token. You can buy Ripple XRP. You're betting that RLUSD gets adoption. The multipliers on these they're like extremely variable. Like you talk about XRP, friends, maybe your upside from here is about 3.5x. Maybe MakerDAO, maybe your upside is like 7x. Maybe ENA's upside is around 10x. Maybe EtherFi's 10x. Maybe. By the way, maybe. What's pDAI's? If it goes to $1, you're looking at 350x. You're literally off the chart here. Okay? You are literally off the chart. If I was to chart all of these here, friends, literally, pDAI is up here, and all these other ones, okay, are literally just down here. Okay? They're all down here. And then pDAI is all the way up the top. When you look at it, it's literally off the charts. Okay? No other way to explain it. Not even a figure of speech. It's like explosive. Yeah? It depends though on your risk profile, isn't it? Mr. Pony Picture. pDAI $2 Vietnamese. Big fat dong. Mr. Scamlong dong. To me, it's clear. What do you think though? By the way, you can buy, I guess, Corridanzo if you want. If you believe the Jed will gain adoption. Here is Crypto Banter. I made this post to you, Randy Boo. It was really nice to see Charles Cuckinson. Insane to think they will have smart contracts on Corridanzo by the end of the year. So he's making fun. Why? Because Corridanzo hit 100 billion market cap in 2021 without smart contracts. They just kept promising it was coming. And on the right here is Vivek Ramaswamy. So Randy's making a joke that he looks like Vivek. And then Charles replies, right around the same time, you have a successful show, I hear. So they are taking jabs at each other, public jabs, because they're both public people out here. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on, friends. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, I've shown you the options, bro. Do what you want, okay? By the way, you can buy Ethereum as well. You're betting on stablecoins. Naturally, you can buy Ethereum. Ethereum's probably a good one, right? It's a hated coin, but big as well, bro. There you go. Out of like 9, one's off the charts. Literally off the charts. It's risky, though. It's risky. But you know what it comes down to. No crying in the casino. There's risk with everything. Only question is, can you allocate yourself enough so that if it does go to 0, you can live to fight another day? That's what makes a good trader, a good investor, a good anything, right? People out on the football field, can you defend, say, against a striker without, say, tilting your whole body towards him? Because if you miss with a big sliding tackle, they just run around you and they'll probably kick a goal in, right? See what I mean? Risk and reward, friends. Risk and reward. We're trying to find asymmetric upside. Where you go, okay, risk is it goes to 0, but the upside, man, am I going to get a 2 or a 3? Or am I going to get a 300? That's what you're looking for. We'll see, though. We'll see. Right now, PulseChain's ecosystem is like about 2.5 billion market cap. If Ethereum plays nice, I think this casino is going to go mighty fun. Quite the fun. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.